6 weeks passed in peaceful domesticity. Zara's business thrived, her pregnancy progressed healthily, and Dae-sung transformed into the most attentive husband imaginable. He read pregnancy books obsessively, renovated one of the penthouse bedrooms into a nursery, and banned anything even remotely stressful from Zara's life. It was perfect. Too perfect. "You've been quiet lately," Zara observed one afternoon when India came by the office. They were reviewing final plans for the Brooklyn development, now fully funded and breaking ground next month. India looked up from her laptop, and something flickered across her face. "Have I? Just focused, I guess. We've been friends for 8 years. I know when something's wrong. It's nothing. Really." India smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Just adjusting to all the changes." "What changes?" "You know. You're married now. Pregnant. Building this whole new life with Dae-sung." India's voice was carefully neutral. "You're different." "Different how?" "I don't know. Softer? Happier?" India closed her laptop. "Look, forget I said anything. I'm being stupid. Hormonal or something." But Zara couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. That evening, she mentioned it to Dae-sung while they prepared dinner together, a ritual they'd maintained despite his increasingly protective tendencies. India seemed strange today. Distant. Dae-sung chopped vegetables with practiced precision. "Strange how?" "I can't explain it. Just off. She made a comment about me being different since we got married. Like it was a bad thing. You are different. You're confident, powerful, loved. Maybe she's jealous." "India?" "No. She's my best friend. She's been celebrating every win with me. People change when their friends' lives improve beyond their own." He scraped vegetables into the pan. "Not saying that's definitely what's happening. Just be aware." Zara wanted to dismiss it. But over the next few weeks, India's behavior became harder to ignore. She started asking invasive questions about Dae-sung. About his businesses. About his other activities. About whether Zara ever felt scared or trapped. "Why would I feel trapped?" Zara asked during one particularly pointed conversation. "Because he's controlling. I've noticed how he dictates your schedule, your security, your diet. That's not partnership, Zara. That's ownership. He's protective because I'm pregnant with his child. That's not the same as controlling. Isn't it?" India leaned forward. "Be honest. Do you ever miss your old life? Before him? When you were independent, making your own choices, not living under the shadow of a criminal?" Zara stood. "I think we're done for today. I'm trying to help you." "No, you're trying to poison my marriage. I don't know why, but I need you to stop." India's expression hardened. "Fine. But when you realize what you've gotten yourself into, don't say I didn't warn you." After she left, Zara sat at her desk, shaking. That evening, she told Dae-sung everything. "I want her investigated," he said immediately. "Something's not right. She's my friend. Friends don't try to undermine your marriage. Friends don't plant seeds of doubt about your husband." His jaw was tight. "Let Jinwoo look into her background. Just to be safe." Reluctantly, Zara agreed. 3 days later, Jinwoo presented his findings. "India Wellington," he said, pulling up a file. "Age 32. Your business partner for 5 years. Excellent architect, clean record, no criminal connections. He paused. But 3 months ago, she started making unusual inquiries. About Mr. Kang's businesses. His associates. His properties in Korea. Zara's stomach dropped. What kind of inquiries? The kind someone makes when they're gathering information for a third party. She's been meeting with someone. A private investigator named Joshua Webb. He specializes in corporate espionage and exposés. Exposés? Dae-sung's voice went cold. She's planning to expose me? Possibly. Or she's gathering leverage. Either way, she's been surveilling both of you. Your routines, your security, your private conversations. Jin-woo pulled up photos. India outside their building, outside Zara's doctor's office, outside the penthouse late at night. This is stalking, Mrs. Kang. Professional stalking. Zara felt sick. Why would she do this? May I speak freely? Jin-woo asked. Always. I think she's in love with you. And she resents Mr. Kang for taking you away from her. The words hung in the air. That's ridiculous, Zara said. But even as she spoke, memories surfaced. India's intensity about her friendship with Zara. Her anger when Zara started dating Ryan. Her barely concealed joy when that relationship ended. Her coldness toward Dae-sung from the beginning. It would explain the behavior, Dae-sung said carefully. The possessiveness. The attempts to drive a wedge between us. What do I do? Confront her. With security present. Find out what she wants, what she's planning. Dae-sung took her hand. And if necessary, end the partnership. I know she's your friend, Wellington Jajia Wellington. But she's also a threat. The next day, Zara called India to the office. Jin-woo and 2 security personnel waited in the adjacent room, ready to intervene if necessary. India arrived looking defensive. This feels like an ambush. Sit down, India. Zara. Sit. Down. India sat. Zara laid out the photos Jin-woo had compiled. India outside the penthouse. India photographing Zara and Dae-sung. India meeting with the private investigator. Explain this. India's face went pale, then red. You had me investigated? You've been stalking me. So yes. I had you investigated. Now explain. For a long moment, India said nothing. Then, I was trying to protect you. By hiring a private investigator to dig into my husband's past. By following me. By photographing us. You don't understand what you've gotten into. India's voice rose. Dae-sung is dangerous. Criminal. He's killed people, Zara. He runs illegal operations across 3 countries. And you're just, okay with that? That's my choice to make. Not yours. But you're my friend. My best friend. And I'm watching you throw your life away on some gangster who's going to get you killed. Is this really about concern? Or is this about something else? India went very still. What are you implying? Jin-woo thinks you're in love with me. That you resent Dae-sung for taking me away from you. That's insane. Is it? Because looking back at our friendship, at your reactions to my relationships, at your obsession with my marriage, it makes sense. India stood abruptly. I'm not in love with you. I'm trying to save you from making the biggest mistake of your life. By stalking me? By trying to destroy my marriage? By gathering information to, what? Blackmail my husband? Expose him? Ruin us? I was documenting evidence of his criminal activities to show you who he really is. I know who he is. Zara stood too, hand instinctively going to her pregnant belly. I know everything about him. The good and the bad. And I chose him anyway. Just like he chose me. You're pregnant with his child. You feel trapped. I feel loved. Protected. Cherished. Things I never felt with Ryan. Things I've never felt with anyone else. Zara took a breath. I'm sorry you can't accept that. But this partnership is over. I'm buying out your share of the firm. You'll be compensated fairly, but I need you gone. India's eyes filled with tears. You're choosing him over me? Over 8 years of friendship? You chose to betray my trust. To invade my privacy. To try to destroy my happiness. Zara's voice softened. If you'd come to me honestly with concerns, we could have talked. But you went behind my back. Hired investigators. Stalked us. That's not friendship, India. That's obsession. I love you, India whispered. I've loved you for years. And watching you with him, knowing he gets you when I've been by your side all along, it's killing me. I'm sorry you're hurting. But I'm not responsible for your feelings. And I can't have someone in my life who can't respect my choices. India wiped her eyes. What if I promise to back off? Stop the investigation? Accept your marriage? I don't trust you anymore. That's the problem. Zara pulled out documents her lawyer had prepared. These are buyout terms. They're generous. Sign them, and we can part ways professionally. And if I don't? Then my husband's lawyers will tie you up in litigation for years. Your choice. India looked at the papers, at Zara, at the photos documenting her obsession. Then she signed. For what it's worth, she said quietly, I really was trying to protect you. Maybe my motives weren't pure. But I do care about you. I know. But caring about someone doesn't give you the right to control their life. India left without another word. After she was gone, Dae-sung emerged from the adjacent room where he'd been listening. Are you okay? No. But I will be. Zara leaned into him. She was my friend. And she betrayed me. I'm sorry, Wellington Jajia Wellington. I know that hurts. The worst part? A tiny part of me wonders if she was right. If I am making a mistake. Dae-sung pulled back to look at her. Do you feel trapped? Controlled? No. But I've changed so much. My whole life is different. Different bad or different good? Zara thought about it. Her business was more successful than ever. She was financially independent despite Dae-sung's wealth. She'd learned to protect herself. She was about to become a mother. And she was loved, completely, desperately, unconditionally loved. Different good, she said. Really good. Then India was wrong. And you made the right choice. He kissed her forehead. Now let's go home. You need rest, and our baby needs dinner. The months that followed were calmer. Zara's pregnancy progressed beautifully. At 20 weeks, they learned they were having a girl. Dae-sung cried when the doctor revealed the gender. Actual tears streaming down his face as he stared at the ultrasound image of his daughter. A girl, he kept repeating. We're having a daughter. You wanted a girl? I wanted healthy. But yes. A daughter. A little girl I can spoil and protect and teach to be strong like her mother. They named her Yoon Grace Kong. Yoon for Daesung's first wife, Grace for Zara's mother. A bridge between their pasts and their future. The nursery was finished by week 30, traditional Korean elements mixed with modern design, every detail perfect. Madam Choi knitted blankets and sweaters. Jin Woo's team installed state-of-the-art security. Daesung read parenting books like they held the secrets to the universe. And Zara worked right up until week 38, finishing the Brooklyn project launch and ensuring her firm could run smoothly during her maternity leave. Labor started on a Tuesday evening. Zara was reviewing contracts when her water broke. She looked down at the puddle on their penthouse floor and said, very calmly, "Daniel, it's time." Daesung, who'd been preparing dinner, dropped the knife he was holding. Time? Time for what? The baby. She's coming. For 3 seconds, the most dangerous man in 3 countries stood frozen, looking terrified. Then training kicked in. He grabbed the hospital bag they'd packed weeks ago, helped Zara into a jacket, called Jin Woo to prepare the car, and guided her to the elevator with shaking hands. "Breathe," Zara said as another contraction hit. "You breathe." "I'm fine." "Daniel, you're hyperventilating." "I'm not, okay, maybe a little." The drive to the hospital was surreal. Daesung held her hand too tight, murmured reassurances that sounded like he was reassuring himself, and looked absolutely terrified in a way Zara had never seen. "I've seen you face armed enemies without blinking," she observed between contractions. "But labor scares you?" "Armed enemies I can fight. This?" He gestured helplessly. "I can't protect you from this. Can't make it easier. Can't do anything but watch you in pain. You can hold my hand. Tell me I'm doing great. And be there when our daughter arrives. I can do that. I will do that." He kissed her knuckles. "You're the strongest person I know, Wellington Georgia Wellington. You're going to be amazing." Labor was long. Painful. Exhausting. But Daesung never left her side. Held her hand through every contraction. Wiped her forehead with cool cloths. Breathed with her. Encouraged her. And when she screamed that she couldn't do this anymore, he looked her in the eyes and said, "Yes, you can. You escaped kidnappers. You saved my life. You built an empire. You can do anything. Including this." At 3:47 a.m., Yoon Grace Kong entered the world screaming. Daesung cut the cord with hands that shook. Then he watched the nurses clean his daughter, check her vitals, swaddle her in soft blankets. When they placed her in his arms for the first time, he looked at Zara with such overwhelming love and gratitude that she started crying. "She's perfect," he whispered. "Look at her. She's absolutely perfect." "She has your eyes," Zara said. "She has your strength. I can already tell." Yoon had a head of dark hair, warm brown skin, and lungs that worked exceptionally well. She was beautiful. Healthy. Theirs. Over the next few days, the hospital room became a revolving door of visitors. Madam Choi brought traditional Korean gifts and blessed the baby. Jin Woo presented a custom-made security blanket with tracking capabilities, which Zara firmly vetoed. Daesung's business associates sent elaborate gifts. And through it all, Daesung barely left Zara and Yoon side. He learned to change diapers, to swaddle, to soothe. He took night feedings without complaint. He stared at his daughter like she'd hung the moon. "You're a natural," Zara observed one night, watching him rock Yoon back to sleep. "I'm terrified I'm going to break her." "You won't. You're already an amazing father." I want to give her everything. Safety, love, opportunity. He looked at Zara. I want to give her the childhood I never had. The security. The stability. We will. Together. 6 weeks later, they held a traditional Korean celebration for Yoonseo's birth. The penthouse was filled with family, the family they'd chosen. Madam Choi. Jinwoo. Daesung's trusted associates. People who'd become their support system. There was Korean food, traditional blessings, gifts for the baby. And through it all, Daesung held his daughter like she was the most precious thing in existence. Because she was. That evening, after everyone had left and Yoonseo was asleep in her nursery, Zara and Daesung stood at their penthouse window watching the city lights. A year ago, I was planning a wedding to Ryan, Zara said softly. Thinking that was my future. My happiness. And now? Now I know what real happiness looks like. A husband who sees me. A daughter who's perfect. A life I built on my own terms. She turned to him. Thank you. For seeing me when I was invisible. For loving me when I was broken. For building this with me. Thank you for taking a chance on a dangerous old man with more baggage than sense. He kissed her softly. For saving my life in more ways than one. For giving me a family I never thought I'd have. We saved each other. We did. In her nursery, Yoonseo made a soft sound. Not crying, just existing. Breathing. Being. They went to check on her together, standing over the crib watching their daughter sleep. She's going to ask questions someday, Zara said. About your work. Your past. The danger. And we'll answer honestly. Age appropriately, but honestly. Daesung stroked Yoonseo's soft hair. I want her to know all of me. The good and the bad. And to make her own choices about what kind of person she wants to be. What if she wants nothing to do with your world? Then I'll support that. Hell, I'll celebrate it. I want her to have choices I never had. Freedom I never had. He looked at Zara. That's what you've given me. The belief that there's more to life than survival and power. That love and family matter more than empires. You've given me that too. Strength I didn't know I had. Courage to be exactly who I am. They stood there, two people who'd found each other in darkness and built something beautiful in the light. The phone rang. Daesung's business line. He ignored it. It rang again. You should get that, Zara said. It can wait. My family is more important. The words settled warm in Zara's chest. Family. That's what they were now. Not a revenge plot. Not a marriage of convenience. Not a mafia boss and his trophy wife. A family. Imperfect, unconventional, built on ashes and second chances. But theirs. And absolutely perfect. And that's it. That's the ending. Can we just take a moment to appreciate this journey? From Zara being traded like property, to marrying the mafia uncle for revenge, to falling in real love, to becoming a mother, to living her absolute best life. This is the happy ending we all deserved. Listen, I am so emotional right now because this story has been everything. 4 parts. Thousands of words. And you guys showed up for every single one. The comments, the likes, the theories, the love, thank you. If you enjoyed this series, if Zara and Daesung's love story touched your heart, if you're happy they got their happily ever after, please hit that like button one last time. Let's get this finale to 20,000 views. Subscribe if you haven't already because I have more stories coming that are just as addictive, just as dramatic, and just as romantic. Comment below, what was your favorite moment from this entire series? The gala confrontation? Zara saving Daesung? The pregnancy reveal? Or the birth? I want to know. Thank you so much for going on this journey with Zara and Daesung. This has been incredible. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next story. Bye.